All right, what is up, tycoons? What's up, traders? Coming at you guys with an update on JASMY, ticker symbol JASMY. And what we're going to do is break things down on the daily chart. If you missed the last video, I went over the key areas of support that we needed to maintain in order to try to get this next push up to the 0.009 region. And rather, we broke through our major retracement levels of support and we started heading back down lower. And as I mentioned, we were going to retest some of our previous lows, and you can see we're currently doing that at the moment. So what we're going to do is go over some of the key levels for you guys, and also the different indicators and tools that you guys can use to really help understand some of the price action and help give yourself an edge in the market. Trading is like going to battle. It's like going to war. You need to have the proper weapons at your disposal and know how to use those weapons so that way you can increase your odds of success. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into it. And the first thing I want to highlight is our major levels right here. Okay, so what these are is these are the 38.2, 50%, and 61.8% retracement levels using the Fibonacci tool right over here. Now, the reason that these are important is because these are the three most common and well-respected retracement levels, and nothing moves in a straight line down or in a straight line up. Rather, you would get a move up, retracement, continuation of the trend, or a move down, retracement, continuation of the trend. And you can see that that's what we were getting here earlier, right? We got to move up. We retraced our major support levels. We pushed higher. We retraced and we tried to push higher, but we failed to put in a high and then a higher high. Rather, we started a downtrend and started making highs and lower highs and broke through our major retracement levels. So that's how you can also use these levels to help spot reversals. Because if you move up, retrace, consolidate, and then break through those retracement levels, that's how you can spot a potential downside reversal, which is definitely what we're currently getting right now after a really nice rally to start off the year in JASMY. Okay. Now another thing you can use is also going to be the MACD. Okay, which is going to be this one right over here. So if you look at it, what you want to look for is the red line, and you want to see it cross above or below. Those are potential entry and exit signals. And so we had some question marks here on the last video. We were wondering, was it going to come down here and bounce off of that blue line, or was it going to cross down below? And if it crosses down below, that's a potential exit signal. All right. And we can see that right after we get that crossover here, you can see we had a sharp move to the downside afterwards. So, if we look at what it's doing currently, it's basically flat and the two lines are touching each other. So we should see some type of a signal potentially on the MACD, either it curling back to the upside, and that would be a potential entry signal, as it was over here when the red line crossed above the blue line and we had a really strong rally. If this thing crosses back above, there is potential we could see another move up, right? Now, if this thing makes a sharp move to the downside, then most likely we're going to continue retesting some of our previous lows and potentially head back down to the 0.003 area. All right. Now, something else that you can use is a term known as divergence. And in this case, it was a bearish divergence that we had on the RSI. So pay attention now here to the RSI. This stands for your relative strength index. And what it's going to do is measure the relative strength of a token at its given price. And you can see we had a high here, and we had a higher high here, and we had a higher high here. And so what happened was we initially had this bearish divergence where we had the high, okay? And then we had a high right here. And here we went up, but we actually created a lower high. And so I mentioned we want to see a breakout, retest, and push higher to really, have any chances of hitting these bullish price targets we had to the upside. Rather, what we did was the opposite, and we got a look above and fail, which I mentioned this before, but I'll go over it again. A look above and fail is important because bulls are presented the opportunity here on the breakout, right? And so you're looking for a retest and then push higher to show that bulls are going to take control of the opportunity when presented the opportunity to really push price higher. Rather, all they did was look above and break through the trend line, but ultimately they failed. And this is a bearish setup, basically, right? It's showing that, hey, actually, bulls aren't taking advantage of the opportunity. The bulls aren't to be found, and rather that bears are the ones who are in control. And a lot of time when you get a look above and fail, you're going to head down towards the bottom of the range. And you can see that we did head down on our RSI to the bottom of the range and actually testing a bullish divergence trend line. Now, bullish divergence is going to be very similar. Okay, and I'll actually go over that. But that was one of the things that really helped spark fuel to some of this rally that we had in the beginning of the year. Take a look how we have a low and a lower low and a lower low and a lower low. So we have these series of lower lows. The token is clearly in a downtrend, but here we have a low, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low. And so we're increasing in relative strength, making these higher lows as the price action was going down lower. You combine that with shortly afterwards, we got a MACD crossover. And on a technical standpoint, we had a really good entry signal to, hop into JASMY. And then if you look here, currently we bounced again off of that bullish divergence trend line, and we're testing it again right now. Now we've bounced off of this trend line about 5 or 6 times. The more times you test these trend lines, the weaker they get. So there is a strong chance that if we don't see any buyers come in soon, this trend line could break and JASMY could have a strong move down. Keep in mind the MACD is also flat right now. If you see this thing curl down, then we could see a strong move there as well. Now it's really in between two trend lines, so it could go either way. We could have a breakout to the upside, and the MACD as well could curl up to the upside. So pay close attention. We are testing some pretty key support levels. 0.004295 is a really big area, as well as 0.003929. All right, I would expect to see some type of a move, to continue this week. Now, if you take a look here, we do have what's known as a head and shoulders pattern forming. And I'll go ahead and draw that on here for you guys so you can see it real quick. But what we have is the left shoulder here, okay? Then we have our head right here, and then we're forming the right shoulder right now. And so essentially, if we break this neckline here, which is going to be, basically this, right? Then most likely we're going to see it, the head and shoulders play out and take us down here, as I mentioned, to that 0.003 area. And currently this candlestick is trying to break that trend line. So it's going to be make or break here soon for JASMY, right? We should see some type of a move. We have a lot of bearish setups right now. And if those play out, we could see it drop down to about 0.003, but keep an eye on it, as there is a chance we could find some support and try to get another push up.